Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first preview of the 2025 season. Yes, we're not focusing on backwards, we're focusing on forwards. And here to discuss all things Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe is Patrick Blake of Audu Cycling. And I mean, Patrick, this team, absolutely extraordinary, 24 victories. The big story going into the 2024 season was, of course, Primoz Roglic. He delivered, got the Vuelta a España, got the Dauphiné as well, a bit of hiccups along the way. But 24 victories, how did you feel? And obviously bringing Red Bull on board as well was a big news for them.
Yeah, they had a really good season. Roglic, of course, not having the Tour de France, which people were expecting, but getting that Vuelta a España victory, being the only person other than Tadej Pogacar to get a Grand Tour victory in this season was quite a feat, it must be said. And some great performances from the likes of Vlasov as well and some of the other climbers. I think that it's a team which is really going from strength to strength. Obviously, a lot of rumours with other potential people who they've been trying to buy. There's even current rumours about Maxime Van Gils coming to this team as well, which is just another person to add to their bow. So maybe we'll include that as a bit of a caveat maybe later on in the episode. But Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe had a good 2024, and it must be said that the transfers which they're making have been potentially some of the best of this whole transfer window. I mean,
like what you said, like the transfers have been the big off-season, well, in-season and off-season talk. Pidcock, Remco as well. We'll talk about him a bit more later. But Patrick, you might as well. Who's going out first?
So leaving the team, quite a few people actually. Got almost about 10 or so. Bob Jungels, Max Schachmann, Emmanuel Buchmann, Sergio Higuita, Leonard Kemner, Marco Heller, Jonas Koch, Cesar Benedetti, Patrick Gamper, Anton Palzer, and Luis Joe Lurs are all leaving the team. It's a big upheaval, you got to say. It's probably one of the biggest sort of turnarounds of a team, I would say, that we've seen in a while, to have such a stark difference between one season and the next, because some of our riders coming in are just insane.
I feel sorry for Palzer. I feel like he's just been used in a way. He was the Red Bull athlete, and then he's pulled into the team, and maybe he's out the door now after they got the Red Bull as a sponsor.
Oh gosh, yeah, that does feel a little bit sore, doesn't it?
But yeah, I mean, who's coming in, and does it outweigh? Well, we'll talk about that later. But who's coming in?
So, we'll start kind of at a lower end here. We've got Moscon coming in to kind of keep track of breakaways, but then we've got some big names coming in. We've got Jan Tratnik, who obviously won Omloop Het Nieuwsblad this year. Lawrence Pithy, one of the hottest properties, I'd say, in cycling at the moment for somebody for so young and already being so competitive. Laz Cano, Spanish champion, obviously he's got wealth of potential too. Finn Fisher Black, another one, taken from UAE Team Emirates, and I think he's a really good one, a good all-rounder. Giulio Perizzari, the next big Italian thing, I would say, in terms of cycling, that is. And then you've got Mick and Tim Van Dijk, both from Visma Lease Bike. So it's a lot of good riders, lots of focus on the future as well. You've got to probably look at the average age of the transfers coming in. It's definitely, I'd say, underneath 25 years old by and large. You've seen a lot of riders here. So Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe obviously looking towards the future of the squad as well. What do you make to the transfers, Scott? And we were talking about that balance between riders in versus riders out. Where do you see Red Bull being on that scale?
I think they've gotten, Leonard Kemner, I think, is quite a big loss for them. Moscon, yeah, I think he's just there to do a job, like control the bunch. Yeah, a lot of interesting talent, like you said. I mean, Pellizzari is the one that catches my eye. I know Pithy and Finn Fisher. It's like they took your favorite list and signed most of them.
Yeah, literally. They just took my favorite riders and just put them into a team. It's just so happy.
They almost had Romain Gregoire as well, so that would have been another one of your list.
Gosh, it would have been as well, wouldn't it? Just sign Mauro Schmid, and then we got the whole collection, basically. It's such a good set of transfers. And Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, like I said, obviously, they may still be signing Maxime Van Gils, who's another one of my favourites. Maybe I've run the whole operation here. People don't know, If people put in the comments who you want to come to this team at the end of next year, and I'll see if I can make it happen. But jokes aside, it's an incredible team, and I just think that could it be dare I call this a super team now?
We're going to do this anyway. What would you give this out of 10 in terms of just based on the transfers? Bear in mind, we're going to do this for all the teams, so.
Yeah, I'd say in terms of transfers, this is a high 8 easily. I'm going to give it an 8.8.
Oof,
out of 10.
That is very high. I think they're losing a lot of quality as well. Buchmann, Kemner, Sotruguita haven't been firing on all cylinders. But I do like the youthfulness of the squad, so I'm going to give it a 7.8. Well, actually, no, I'll give 8.1.
8.1, yeah.
At least in the 8s.
I didn't think too much about riders going out. I was just getting far too carried away with riders coming in.
But I mean, one thing that we discussed a lot in the transfer talks is one name. Well, we spoke about Tom Pidcock and Remco Evenepoel, but Remco Evenepoel, do you think it was the right choice not to bring him in? Let's say that he didn't reject the 10 million euro offer, because that was a lot of money on the table. But do you think would that have been a wise decision by Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe to sign him? He is a lot younger than Roglic. He has beaten him a number of times head to head, but would that have been a good choice for you to have a 10 million euro rider?
I think it would have upsetted the balance of the team too much. Because when you look at the team, it's got obviously the big leader in Roglic in terms of GC. Danny Martinez showed that he's a podium contender for Grand Tours, given, where depending on the level of competition. You got Hindley here, who's won, a Giro in the past as well. I think that having Remco in here would have been too much, dare I say, because he would have wanted to go to the Tour. Roglic wants to go to the Tour, I'm presuming. And also Remco, no offence, but he showed that he wasn't able to compete against Vingegaard and Pogačar at the Tour this year. I know obviously he had that crash at Zulia, but so did Jonas. And I'm not saying either one's injuries was worse than another. I'm just saying that I don't think that Remco, even at full fitness, will be able to take it to Jonas or Pogačar. So therefore you end up still in the same situation of kind of playing the bridesmaid. It's just that you're doing it with Roglic instead of Remco.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But yeah, it was crazy the amount of money that they were willing to give as well. Obviously, him being a specialized rider is kind of a part of that. We talked about that extensively in a number of things. But yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it would be, this isn't a Soudal quick step episode, but it would completely take the heart out of that team, what they've build around. But having a rider on 10 million euros, if it's not, you're not back. Well, he has had he's double Olympic champion, being a world champion in both disciplines as well. Yeah, we know. But it's like the best rider in the sport right now, Tadej Pogačar, is earning 8 million euros. That has been widely publicized. So if you have a guy earning more than that and he's not winning the Tour, Remco is probably the second best or third best rider. He's definitely in the top 3. So, yeah, I think it would have brought a lot to Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, though. Red Bull, imagine you could have him versus Max Verstappen, him being thrown out of a helicopter going, whatever, you know what I mean? So,
yeah, I know what you mean. But I think it definitely would have led to a bit of a power struggle where I think Roglic would have to leave this squad. It's like the age-old saying, this town ain't big enough for the two of us. It's like that.
And he would be pushed out of another team. That would be quite sad.
Well, yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
Ineos is open.
It's always open, Scott.
Anyways, we might as well go back into Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe focus. And the first thing we're going to talk about is, what do you see for their potential in the cobble classics? Obviously, the monuments. We can even kind of there's no cobbles in Milan-San Remo, but we'll stick it in the cobble section. Well, in terms of the monuments, let's just say it like that. 12th with Sombrero in Milan-San Remo, 33rd with Marco Halla in Tour of Flanders, 8th with Jordi Meus in Paris-Roubaix, 20th in Liège-Bastogne-Liège, and 11th with Roger Adria in Lombardia. So focusing on each of the monuments, who would be the leader, and then you could kind of build the team up. I mean, Now with those transfers as well that you highlighted, it's a very strong classic squad now.
I would say Yeah, you could have seen a lot of similar names. To start with, Milano Sanremo, just because, like you say, it's a little bit of an outlier, but we're going to lump it in here anyway. I'm looking down the list of riders. I'm honestly looking at Piffy as my main rider. This is a race where you need to really back one person because you need to dedicate every other rider to getting your main rider into position at the base of a Poggio. Dare I even say, but I might even try and include somebody like Danny Van Poppel as well. There's a slightly protected rider. I feel like he could be good as well. I just don't see anybody else on the team. You could try and argue Mayus all you want, but I just think that he won't climb quite well enough. I think that Piffy has got the best shot of anybody in this team.
He was 15th last time.
Yeah, on debut with more experience. I think he could definitely top 10 Sanremo for sure. So I'm looking at him. And then going into Flanders, yes, Piffy's going to be there as well, but I'm also looking towards Lazcano. I think will definitely be there. Mayus could even be there. I mean, obviously he was third in Ghent-Wevelgem. It's very easy to forget that. That was this year. So I'd include him as well. Tratnik obviously will be in here because he won Omloop. I would include both of Van Dijk twins. And the rest of the squad, I don't really know. But I think when you've got Lazcano, Tratnik, Piffy, and both of Van Dijk's, I think that's a really good 5. You only need to fill in, another 2 riders there to... You could literally include the Flandrian hit missile himself, Philippe Mychuk, just to, for the memes. You could do that. So that's 7. And then you just need one other person. Throw in like Ryan Mullen or something like that. And there you go, that's your 7. I think that's a really good squad. Would I change that around too much for Roubaix? I might include Mayus in Roubaix. I think
8th place last year, or this year.
Yeah, I'd include Mayus in Roubaix, but I might not put him in Flanders. He's more suited to Roubaix than Flanders, that's for sure.
Imagine the Van Dijk twins in Roubaix with no babysitting or while they're not.
I think they could be really good. They'd be really confusing if both of them had like a bike change and they didn't have numbers on, and then they'd just look the same, and just don't know who's who.
And I mean, for the hideous ones, obviously Liège, but we can throw in Amstel Gold, Flèche Wallonne, because it's the same week there. Yeah, a bit different from Lombardia. Obviously Liège, we've had Primoz Roglic win in the past. That was the one where Alaphilippe thought he won. It wasn't like a dominant Liège win, like with Jakob Fuglsang. Obviously, I'm going to mention that. Remco Evenepoel, Tadej Pogačar, but is a 3rd place the best they can get? I almost said they could always use Tom Pidcock, but obviously he's not here. It's like in my mind, I kind of want him here, but he's not here.
Yeah, Roglic in theory should be the leader. He seems apprehensive to do these one-day races. He's like afraid that he's going to crash, which is fair. He doesn't want to derail the rest of his season preparation because of some one-day races. I think that he should be doing it, though. Outside of Roglic, there's no real names here which I'm really like, oh, this is an absolute winner. Like, I'm looking at a good support cast. I'm looking at Wandal was really good this year. Vlasov as well. Tratnik could even do a bit of this. Piffy I might include in Amstel, but probably not in La Flèche and Liège. Danny Martinez, possibly. Lipovitz, Jai Hindley, Adria, actually. Roger Adlia. Obviously, he won the Grand Prix de Wallonie this year, and he was just outside the top 10 in Il Lombardia. I think that Adlia could be a name to snag a top 10 in Liège. But in terms of La Flèche, I think you're really looking at, Vlasov and Roglic mainly. Am I missing somebody, do you think?
I'm just not sure if Roglic is going to go to Liège, because when's the last time he actually was at Liège, Bastogne-Liège?
I'm not sure how his preparation is going to be changed this year, whether they're just going to wrap him in bubble wrap and try and just get him to the Tour in one piece.
I mean, Lombardia, obviously, we're going to talk about the Grand Tours as well, but Lombardia, kind of an afterthought, but Roglic always seems to go pretty well at this race. It was obviously his last podium with Jumbo-Visma, where he finished 3rd there. So, Vlasov's finished on the podium before as well. So I think they have a fairly solid squad, and they could do better than 11th that they had last year.
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty similar to the Liège team. Maybe I might include, certainly, Hindley, Lipovitz, Pellizzari as well in there too.
True. He wins it. Watch.
Yeah, I'd say the Liège team and the Lombardia team is going to be pretty similar, with hopefully a focus on Roglic so long as he goes.
Anyways, we might as well look forward to the Giro d'Italia. We didn't actually mention that too much. I think you hinted at it. But Danny Martinez did a phenomenal job, almost a one-man show. One of your favorite riders, Lipovic, that you've already mentioned quite a lot. He did quite well in the beginning. But Daniel Martinez, second place, quite a performance. I mean, for the Giro d'Italia, we haven't got the route yet because that's been postponed to January. But yeah, what's going on, Giro? Something with Albania is what Ewan told me. Apparently. Who do you think's gonna be in the squad? Who would you send? Who's the captain, you would say? They went for Danny Martinez. Would you go for a Jide Hindley to return to the Giro d'Italia? Would you go with a Primoz Roglic to return? I mean, they have a ample number of podium and winners of the Giro in the past.
What will Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe really want from next year? They probably want Roglic to be on the podium of the Tour, don't they? So I'm going to guess that they're not going to send him here.
This is going to be the B squad then. You could... Pellizzari, I would send him here. He did very well in the breakaways this year.
You can bet your bottom dollar that Moscon, Pellizzari and Sobrero and maybe like Haliotti are turning up here. Because
there you go. Oh, Haliotti, winner of Tour of Slovenia. Not quite Tour Italy, but...
That's 4. I would honestly send Lipovic. He did get sent to the Giro this year, but he left after stage 6 or something like that. But I think the Lipovic could be, depending on who's there, he could be competing for the youth classification, I think. So I'd be sending Lipovic. Yeah, who do you send alongside that? Hindley, Vlasov, like one of the other of those. Danny Martinez, you could send again. But I'm not sure whether they might be having some higher aspirations for him to be supporting Roglic at the Tour now, based upon the performance this year. So I'm going to say that either one of Hindley or Vlasov, or maybe even both of them, will be going to the Giro with Lipovic and the Italian contingency as well. I would like to see Piffy go here. I'm not sure whether it would happen, and whether that would work with the Cobble Classics. I'm not sure. But I would like to see Piffy. I would like to see Warndal. I would like to see Finfisher Black as well, actually, go. I think that could be quite cool.
So basically a 10-man team, that's what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm sending a 10-man team to an 8-man team race, basically. That's what I'm doing. But you have to think...
I mean, Red Bull A and B.
Yeah. I'm just looking down the list. Where do Lars Carno, where do Jordi Mays go in all this? So am I holding them until the Tour?
Okay, we might as well go to the Tour, where, like, obviously Roglic, but who are you flanking him? I kind of wanted to send Danny Martinez, because at the Vuelta, that looked imperious. Well, not imperious, but, like, yeah, it looked really good how Danny Martinez was just leading out Roglic. Obviously, with the Slovenian and the Dane and the Belgian, we won't give them names because it's not their episodes. Yeah, it's quite hard to defeat that kind of team, those teams with what they have, but I do think Bora had a lot of bad luck. Roglic, Vlasov, Jide Hindley as well, I think had a crash or two. So, like, they didn't have the best luck on the Tour front. But on paper, they have one of the strongest teams. So, yeah, I'm going to say Roglic, Vlasov, Jide Hindley. So it's the same 3. And Danny Martinez. But then, who do you throw to the Giro? Because they do care about the Giro. Vlasov, send Vlasov. He hasn't really had his own opportunities since Astana. Well, no, he went to the Tour one year where he finished 5th in 2022.
Yeah, you said either one of Hindley or Vlasov alongside Lipovic to a Giro for me. Of a Tour, yeah, Roglic and Danny Martinez, I think for sure. I think they both go. Alongside them, I mean, you got a strong supporting cast. You're going to be sending somebody like Tratnik just because you need that. You need those names who are just secure, don't you? And also, he's Slovenian. Roglic is Slovenian. You know that they're going to want to go to the same race. Lars Carno could go here as well. He's very versatile. He can climb. He can do the flats. So he's kind of like 2 men in one. Nico Denz probably will go just because he's a ruler. Danny Van Poppel might go as well. But yeah, it's like Jordi Mays. Does he get in here? Or is that...
I wouldn't.
But where's he going in all this? Is he going to the Giro then? Otherwise, what? He's going to do the Cobble Classics, and then his only Grand Tour's going to be the Vuelta? You won't be happy with that. This is a guy who won on the Champs-Elysees.
Yeah, that's true. He could do the Tour of Austria.
Oh, good. Yep, he'll be really satisfied. But no, it's a point that like Mays has got to go somewhere. But the thing is, he's not the fastest sprinter in the world. He's not a guaranteed win. Like if you were to send, I don't know, Merlier or Philipsen or Milan to a sprint, you'd be like, over the course of 8 sprints, we're probably going to get one. I'm not convinced that Mayus would win is the problem. That sounds very brutal, but I'm sorry, that's just how it is. You got to kind of match to the level of sprinting quality. And if you're really keen on getting Roglic on the podium, you got to send a team really around trying to get Roglic a victory, not half a team and then half a lead out. You got to be committed to this. Even if Roglic is like Bambi on ice, right? You got to support him until he falls over.
I mean, on that point, do you think, what are we going to do? Go back to 2020. Remember that day on La Planche de Belfi? One Slovenian young pretender took the crown away from Primoz Roglic, broke his heart. He was wearing the yellow jersey. My point is, that was the last time he finished a Tour de France. So 2021, he crashed out. 2022, he crashed out as well. 2023, he did the Giro, won that. Good. 2024, he didn't finish again. He crashed again. My point is it too late for Roglic now? He's a very good rider, as we know. He won the Vuelta this year. He won the Dauphiné. He is very good, but whatever it is, something just happens at the Tour. He just becomes this magnet for bad luck. So do you think it is too late? Or can he next year? I think he would actually surpass the record for the oldest rider to win as well. Thermin Labot, I think, has it, the Belgian rider who was 36 years old. So is it too much? And should he just cement his place in history by winning another Vuelta a España in 2025?
I reckon I would go to the Vuelta. I don't think people are going to be, Patrick's a hater of Roglic. It's like, well, you know what? I'm just a realist, all right? He ain't going to win. He's just not. He's not going to beat Tadej, and he's not going to beat Jonas because he hasn't done in years. And yeah, exactly. Tell me.
Europe, that country, 2021.
Yeah, it's like people in the comment section, if you are angry right now that I'm going at your precious rider, put in the comments the last time that he beat them when it wasn't just some B-tier race where nobody was bothering, an actual World Tour level event. Because Roglic, he just doesn't. He's not going to win. He's going to finish best place scenario, 3rd place. He's fighting with Remco for 3rd. That's where he is. It's the harsh reality. Now, what do Red Bull favour more? If they could go to the Giro, do a Giro Vuelta, where is he going to be the best of a Giro so long as Jonas and Tadej don't turn up? Yeah, he probably will be. And Remco. Basically, if those 3 don't turn up, is he going to go to the Giro and probably win it? Yeah, he probably will do. Go to the Vuelta, get your record winning, whatever number it is. 5? 4? 5. Get your record winning 5. Seal your name in history, and then you can live, you can retire happy or whatever at that point. I think that beating this Tour de France horse is just going to end in tears once more.
Yeah, it is just Red Bull injecting so much money in. It's such a high budget. Giro Vuelta for us is massive. We haven't seen that for a while. But it's just, do the wider public care? Most of these sponsors get involved with the teams because of the Tour de France. They don't care about a Vuelta. They don't care about a Giro. They don't care about the Tour of Denmark.
Care about the Tour de Yorkshire either.
Yeah, no, sad point. But yeah, so I just don't know if having a rider 6 million euros or whatever the number is, if you're going to not include him in the Tour de France squad.
Yeah, but surely, I agree with you. I think they probably will send him to the Tour. But surely you got to think that what's better? Is it going to be probably podiuming the Giro and the Vuelta, depending on the level of competition? Or is it throwing all of your eggs into the Tour where you may not even finish on the podium? No representation at all, no jersey, no podium step, no picture to put on your mantelpiece. niche, absolute nothing, right, from it. Is that what you want? You're going to risk that? You're going to keep sending your prize pony to there just in blind hope? I think they probably will, but I don't think it's the smart decision. I think he should probably do the Giro of Vuelta.
And then the Tour of Austria in the middle.
Yep. Prime warm-up race. Or go smash the Tour of Slovenia, finally.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the Vuelta team, we didn't really speak about that. I mean, Roglic, you throw him in there, obviously. It's just going to be the best of whoever's in form from the Giro and Tour, let's be honest. So they could have an absolute star-studded team there.
Yeah, you could go with... I'd say if Piffy doesn't go to the Giro, send him here. I'd say if Finn Fisher Black doesn't go to the Giro, send him here. Probably somebody like Adley is going to go here. Emil Herzog, Alexander Hayek, they would be quite good to go in here as well. Maybe the Van Dijk twins could do the Grand Tour too, because I'm not actually sure if either of them have done one before. Let's go quickly check. Oh no, Tim's done one, and Mick's done 0. So yeah, I'd say the Van Dijk twins as well, because those two just haven't had enough Grand Tour exposure either. Welsford, we haven't even talked about him.
Yeah, Mr. Tour Down Under.
Yeah, well, exactly, that's the point. He's not called Mr. Get Round a Grand Tour.
So what would you do with him?
He's going to go to every single .pro stage race. Send it to Tirreno, right? Just try and get him victories there. I'm just honestly not sure whether he'd make it round the Grand Tour. He was the one Grand Tour before, and there was the Tour de France last year in 2023. Do you remember Sam Welsford doing anything in that race, Scott? I wouldn't blame you. The highest placing he got was 13th in a stage. I just don't think he's the man for Grand Tours, to be honest.
No shame in picking up all the other wins.
But yes, somebody's got to do it. It's honest work.
A lot of wins as well.
Exactly. Just drop him in with some lead out man and he'll do fine.
But, I mean, Sam Welsford aside, we're coming towards the end now, and you wanted us to give some hot takes as well, so we can laugh at ourselves afterwards. And if this is correct, tomorrow our reaction to our predictions is coming out, so look out for that. But, yeah, Patrick, hot takes. I'm going to say Roglic doesn't win the Tour de France. That's not a hot take, that's ice cold.
Wow.
Pellizzari takes the white jersey at the Giro d'Italia.
Oh, man, I was going to say something from the Giro.
Best result in a monument, and which one?
Oh, best result in a monument will be Lawrence Piffy in Milano San Remo, where he's going to finish 6th place.
You think 6th is the best they're going to get in all the monuments?
Yeah, probably. Well, because Roglic isn't going to turn up to any of them.
I'm going to say Gianni Moscon finishes 3rd in the Paris-Roubaix. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
Didn't 2021.
You've absolutely lost it.
Wait, well, there's one that you really crucified before in the prediction video, which... Oh, I know which one. It rhymes with Schmingigol winning the World Time Trial Championships.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Sorry, I haven't given it my hot take yet. My hot take is that Finn Fisher Black will win 2 Grand Tour stages next year.
Highest GC in the Giro, Tour, and Vuelta. I'm going to say 3rd, 5th, and 1st. So 3rd with Vlasov, 5th with Roglic. Well, actually, Roglic finishing at Tour is quite a hot take. And then Roglic wins his 5th Vuelta España and then retires.
Okay, fair. I'm going to go 5th in the Giro with Lipovitz. I'm going to go with 6th place in the Tour with Danny Martinez. And I'm going to go with 1st in the Vuelta with Roglic.
What happened to Roglic in the Tour?
Well, he's going to crash again.
Yeah, okay, that's a pretty good. Take that as well. Well, who do you think is going to be their best transfer? No, you're waste on this one. You're going to say Piffy. Yeah, it could be Lascano. Huh?
I might not.
Okay, go on. Who's going to be their best transfer?
Probably Lawrence Piffy.
What a shock. And I'll say Oya Lascano, maybe. Oh, actually, Jan Tratnik. But, I mean, anyways, with that, I think that's basically it for us here of our first preview of the 2025 season World Tour. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and check us out on Spotify as well. And of course, check out Patrick's own channel, which was currently in hibernation, but I'm sure I'll do cycling will be back soon. But until then, we'll see you in the next one, which will be... I don't need to say more. But with that, we'll see you in the next one.